Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka Russ LP. And today, my amazing guest and friend Mitchell Levy is here with us. It's going to be awesome. So make sure share this out. Let your friends know. Here we go. Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka Russ Selfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors of Marketing with Russ, the Alzheimer's Association, Stutzman Services, Holly Jean Jackson Coaching, and Pure Performance in Deirdre Breckenridge. For more information on the Alzheimer's Association and how to give to this amazing fight against Alzheimer's, go to alz.org. And for more information on Stutzman Services and their amazing plumbing services, go to stutzmanservices.com. And for more information on Holly Jean Jackson and her coaching, helping gain clarity in your business, go to hollyjeanjackson.com. And finally, for Pure Performance Communications in Deirdre Breckenridge, go to pure-performance.com. Music by Connor Hedge and Protestant, used with permission. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka Russ Selfie. I am excited. I am so glad to be here with you guys today. It's going to be awesome. And you're ready. It's Monday. What does that mean? It means it's time to go a new week. You know what? We are blessed for another day. We are on the right side, moving forward. And you know what? I'm just so thankful, as my guest said, I'm so thankful to be able to be seen today and be here with you. You know, God is so good. And yes, I'm wearing my good news. God is not done with me yet sweatshirt. I am ready for a good week. I have a lot going on this week. But first, I want to just thank you again for being here at Marketing with Russ, aka Russ Selfie. What a blessing you are. This amazing, amazing community. I am so thankful every day for all of you. And so thanks again for all that you do. Make sure that you engage, get in those comments, and make sure that you're saying hi to everybody. You know what? It's amazing that you're able to be able to network and connect just through the actual comments on the show. It's so great. And of course, if you have questions for Mitchell or for myself, please make sure and put those in the comments. Also, if you want to let your friends know, please let them know right now. And I would say, share this out. Share. Tag your friends. Tell them right now it's Monday. I know you're busy, but guess what? Amazing content is ahead. You do not want to miss it. It's a quick hitter. We'll just be here for half an hour. So you got to move fast. So let everybody know what's going on. You know what? I'm so thankful. We are all about how amazing people connect here on Marketing with Russ. I'm a firm believer that connection and community building is the foundation for any good business, any good marketing plan, definitely any good life. And so today I want to encourage you to connect and build community and invite your community. You know what? We love all of them. And of course, I love to connect with you. russhedge.com. If you know my name, put a .com on it, you're good to go. russhedge.com is a place to go. All the information about me, about my inspirational speaking, which I'll be doing this week, about my marketing coaching and live stream producing. Would love to just talk with you and connect with you. And if you have any questions on that, you know what? Conversations are free. Just come on in, connect. Let me know what's going on. Also, please subscribe on YouTube. It is blowing up and getting bigger all the time. And so you need to jump on in this amazing community where you can get quick access to all of the episodes of Marketing with Russ, the Experience Live with Russ and Scott, the Experience Local, Russ Reels Live. It's all there. And amazing little shorts from my cat Maisie, and before she passed, my amazing beagle Maddie, make you smile on YouTube Shorts. So also the marketing tip of the day is there every week, along with other. It gets cut out and put on social media separately as well, but it's on YouTube Shorts, so you can get that get that there as well. And what you need to do is just go to marketingwithruss.live. So super simple. You know the name of the show. Marketingwithruss.live will take you to my YouTube page. That's it. And you can subscribe. Marketingwithruss.live. That's simple. So there you go. All right. Thank you for doing all that. I'll tell you real quick, I am blessed, and I have to really manage my energy and my time still. Those of you know that I'm still going through a cancer journey, although I've been doing so much better, and thank God for that. But this week, tomorrow, I'll be speaking for a big Sales Palooza event, a big Western regional event for a large senior living organization. Super excited for that. Going to be taking them all a copy of my first book. Right behind me there, Befuddled. Oh, sorry, you can see it's shiny. Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. That's right. So they'll get a copy of that, and just inspiring, encouraging them, and talking a little bit about sales and marketing and how to turn cold calling into making friends is the title of tomorrow's talk. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, getting ready for my new book that's going to release. That's right. It's coming out. My new book will be out November 3rd. There you go. Life happens and then you choose. Man, I am so blessed and so thankful to be able to do this. It's going to be a good one, everybody. And I have got an amazing group of endorsements on there, including my friend, Mr. Bob Goff, a New York Times best-selling author, has endorsed my book, and I'm so thankful for that. So that'll be coming out here November 3rd. So look for that. Also, just want to remind you today, I was going to say I'm going to New York this Friday, and I'll be there for the weekend speaking at the Perspectives on Cancer conference this weekend. So a lot for me, more than I normally do all in a week, but I'm so thankful to be able to do it. Tim Sohn and the organization is so good. So you still want to come the 3rd through the 5th. Perspectives on Cancer, go to perspectivesoncancer.com for information on that. But I want to tell you that because of this amazing community, listener supported, we are sponsor supported and listener supported. And because of that, you have helped me. So anybody that still wants to jump on board, help me finish up paying for the expenses on that trip. It's a nonprofit, so I have to cover my own way. You could go to the code there, the QR code, or the link in the comments and give today. And I appreciate that. There is a special deal going for only $150. You get a live stream sponsorship. So you're on all of the ads for the sponsorships for the episode, and you get a special digital ad. Thank you. All about a $700 value for only $150. So it helps me get to New York. So that's still available. So thank you for that. All right. So I'm going to wind things up here. I'm really excited. I want to get Mitchell in, but before we do that, we got to do our marketing tip of the day. And this is a good one in honor of my guest today. So here we go. This is your marketing tip of the day. If you want to be credible, be authentic. If you want to be credible, be authentic. What does that mean? If you want to be credible, you got to be you. You got to be all about what you are truly passionate about. Be able to speak to people from your heart. And it's so important because people that are trying to pretend to be somebody else, people that are trying to create a persona that's really not them, ends up being not credible to others. People can see through that. And today it's so important as you're building a credible presence on social media, on Google, on personal, getting out there with people in your community, and you're trying to get out there and be you, be authentic and be the real you. And that's what speaks to people. That will lend credibility to all that you're saying. And you'll also know so much more about it because you have all of that passion and information in you when it's all about you. So today, don't forget, if you want to be credible, be authentic. And that, marketing tip of the day. There you go. All right. That'll get cut out, put out separately on YouTube Shorts and social media. We're going to get Mitchell in the room and get this party started. Morning, Mitchell.
I think the party entered when you turned on the camera, Russ. I'm just glad to be part of it.
Well, you're such a blessing. I'm telling you. You know, I am so thankful to have you here, and been blessed to know you now for a few years, and had you on at least a couple times before, and so excited. And so, tell us. Let's start from the very beginning. For those that don't know, who in the world is Mitchell Levy, and what are you up to?
So let's talk about what other people consider success. So I've been in Silicon Valley for 38 years, happily married for 37, have a 27-year-old son. I have started 20-ish companies here in Silicon Valley. I've sat on the board of a NASDAQ firm. I've run 4 CEO networking groups, run many, many different conferences. As a book publisher, we've published over 750 books. I've written 65, and the 66th, which I'm writing now, is in association with my PhD program. And that book is going to be the most important. And so for me, from a marketing perspective, it's always about finding who you are, and who you are is so clearly defined by who you serve. And so the reason you mentioned the credibility is between 2019 and 2020, I went on a Napoleon Hill journey, and I interviewed 500 thought leaders on the concept of credibility. And as a result of that, what's interesting is I knew I had a lot of knowledge when I finished, and then wrote the book Credibility Nation and did a TEDx. But the wisdom came throughout the years after that, as I was deploying that, and now truly understand what I learned. So that's a good place to start.
Oh my goodness, that's a great place to start. In fact, I was thinking, wow, first of all, you and your wife and my beautiful wife and I have been married virtually exactly the same amount of years. We're going to be going, this December will be our 38th year, 30th anniversary. So very excited about that. And wow, I mean, including my anthology collaborative books, I am up to 6 books and 1 workbook. So technically 7. Nice. Nowhere close to 66. That's amazing. That kind of blows my mind. What really got you interested in writing at first? Now that I'm in the middle of my book and finishing it up right now, it makes me think about books. So what got you interested in writing?
It's a really good question. I think one of the things that I learned over time, and maybe what I'll do is I'll mention my undergraduate. Because surprisingly, I'm one of those people who have used their undergraduate knowledge incorporate that in everything I've done. I got a Bachelor of Science in Stochastic and Deterministic Models of Operational Research. So what that means is I was taught how to model people and systems and improve them. And one of the things, although I am a American that only speaks bad English, and I don't speak any other foreign language, I do actually speak the language of human. And so what's interesting is there are many times where I'd walk into the room and the engineers weren't able to talk to marketing, and marketing, surprisingly, can't talk to sales. And so I often acted as an interpreter. And so what would happen is whenever I saw opportunities where there was a aha moment, an opportunity to sort of bring knowledge and hopefully wisdom to people, I'd write a book about it. The one I'm writing right now is on a new concept I've created called executive abundance, and it has to do with the executive coaching that I do. I'm part of that Marshall Goldsmith's group of executive coaches, and my executive coaching has always been much more well-rounded than the way businesses typically run today. And it is a model that would allow us to run companies that focus on multiple stakeholders versus just investors. One of the things that's wrong in society today, I call it short-termitis. We have such short-termism because we're chasing the next financial quarterly report, right? And so the thing is, there are ways to run businesses and run your company and run your life differently. And so that's what the latest book is. But what got me interested was, I think my first book, Russ, was probably in the 80s. And whenever somebody, no, 90s, whenever somebody, long time ago, whenever somebody says, hey, everyone says go one direction, I often ask myself, are we doing it because everyone says it, or are we doing it because it's the right thing to do? And so in Silicon Valley, for those that actually know, if you don't know, housing prices are crazy. And so when it came to that time in life, it's like buy a house, and everyone kept saying buy a house. I'm like, does it make sense to buy a house? So I spent hundreds, if not 1,000 hours focusing on a spreadsheet. And I go, oh, I actually know when it makes sense and when it doesn't make sense. And as a result of that, I wrote a book. And it's called, Home Ownership, the American Myth. And I was still working at the time. I was working at Sun Microsystems. And so I learned a lot about marketing because that, marketing that book was a hobby for about a year, and from book perspectives, it did really great. From a time and money perspective, nothing compared to the full-time job I had, right? But it was fun to learn and grow that way. And I think that's what caused the first one. I mean, I sold a number of copies and the associated spreadsheet and helped a lot of people think about, what does it mean? When do you buy? When do you not? And
Right.
It's an interesting, anyhow, that's what got me. That was my first one.
Well, that's really interesting because, I have found exactly the same thing you're talking about. You learn and grow so much yourself. You're trying to help others, and but as you dive into the information, or as you are getting all this information out to people, you're learning and growing through the process. Not just learning how to do the book, but learning and growing more information and just helping yourself as well. And so I found that, it's nice to have really good friends who push you beyond where you think you can go. And my good friend D. Scott Smith, who's co-host of a couple of my shows, The Experience, he is the one that initially pushed me and said, hey, you need to write a book. And I'm like, I can't even comprehend that. You need to write a book. I that's not even on my radar. And then suddenly I realized 5 months later, well, actually, from the time he told me, it was about 8 months later, I had written the book and gotten it published. I could actually do it. And so I was blessed to do my first book during COVID. So I had a lot of extra time because everything shut down, and I just started writing, and I thought, wow, I don't have anything else to do. I might as well write. And so, no, but it is really, I love the personal growth, because I don't think we think about that. I talk more about that, Mitchell, because personal growth is so important. And it comes out of, a lot of times, out of the adversity in our lives, but it also comes out of things that push us and go beyond is just our comfort zone, right?
So, Russ, there were two things. First thing I was going to think about, I'm going to answer your question about personal growth. I also want to say, for someone who runs a podcast like you, a friend of mine has a company called Pod to Book. And what you could so easily do is you could say, hey, listen, I want to do a podcast on pick a topic, or I want to do a book on pick a topic, and then go ahead and interview up to 15, but interview 4 or 5 people on that topic. Take the transcripts, feed it to Pod to Book, and now you have a at least the 80% of the of that next manuscript done. Very cool stuff. Now, the where you learn, where you grow. Let me share with you. So for those who are listening only, take a look at this particular point in time. Take a look at the screen, and what I'm sharing is the updated definition of what is credibility. And this came out of interviewing 500 thought leaders on credibility. And I wanted to share that credibility is a quality in which you're trusted, known, and liked. Now, as a executive coach, if a board comes to me and says, "Hey, Mitchell, can you interview our CEO?" The answer is, let me speak to them. Because if they're not, if you take a look under being trustworthy, if they're not coachable, and that's so easy to tell. If they're not coachable, they think they know it all and they won't listen to anyone else or see another point of view. I can't coach them. And I'll say, listen, I can't. They're not coachable. They're not somebody I can spend time with. Never mind. I could spend time with them. There's just somebody, I don't actually, as a coach, I don't actually change anybody's life. What I do, Russ, and this is what's really interesting, it answers your question in terms of learning something new. When somebody wants to change something and, hey, Mitchell, can you change me? Can you coach me? The answer is, well, let me see who you are. And if you look at this being trustworthy, and you said your tip of the day was to be credible is to be authentic. Being trustworthy is having authenticity, having the external integrity people can put their arms around, being vulnerable and being coachable. And so what I do when I talk to somebody is I see the playground, the framework they play in. I figure out where it is that they want to go. And then what happens is I will give them a framework or two so they could view the world in a different way. So I don't change anybody. I just paint the way they're viewing the world. And if you look at the world in a different way, you will almost by definition change yourself. And so as we go through life, and let's look at being known, to go through life, we are of service to others. Dude, you are definitely a servant leader. You have the intent and commitment to do the right thing. Those people that support you are people who just love what you do and want to be of value and want to have other people learn and grow as well because they love your mission. And what happens is you're on this journey. You're having fun, you're learning, you're growing, you're pushing yourself to the limits. Your limits are different now than they were prior to other events, right? And what's interesting is we have to learn and we have to grow. It's what for me, it's what fuels the soul. It's how can I be of service to somebody if I'm not growing myself? How could I expect them to grow and learn as well? I want to share one last thing. I want to share the concept of if you take a look at Russ, we can come back to, but half hour is always so little time. We'll come back to likability at some point in time. But let me talk about.
You're doing great. Keep going.
Let me talk about integrity for a second.
Yeah.
Of the 10 values of credibility, there is only one value that was listed twice, and that's integrity. And actually, when I published the results, I wasn't even sure I understood why. But it was somewhere in the first year of practicing that I turned that knowledge into wisdom. And I recognized that the integrity associated with being trustworthy is your external integrity. It's what you tell the world. The integrity associated with being known is your internal integrity. And Russ, have you ever talked to somebody and all of a sudden the hair on the back of your neck sticks up and you're thinking, oh, trouble, right? You get that happen every now and then?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I want to say that integrity is so important. And I want to go back to what you talked about with the initial, and I'm spacing the point that I had there all of a sudden. Oh, I want to go back to the initial, thing when you're getting out there and you're learning and growing and you're going through this process. It's so important. You talked about people supporting me because of the mission and the journey and people want to be on board. it's just like people love a good story, right? They love a good journey, and they love to be able to be involved with somebody like you, Mitchell, that is on an amazing journey, doing amazing things. And this is why I really look up to you. And I think it's just what a blessing, all the things that you're doing. I am so blessed to have someone like you here with my audience, giving so much value. And like you said, within a half hour, my mind's always going 100 miles an hour because we can only fit so much in a half hour discussion. So you and I are definitely going to have to do this again. We're going to have to get you on the schedule for 2026 and have you come back. We'll pick a whole new topic. But I love the fact that the journey that you're on and all that you're moving for, and the fact that you are such a man of integrity. And when I listen to you, I think about credibility and authenticity. If I'm trying to get somebody to help me with that, your executive coaching is exactly what I'm looking for, because you are the kind of person that I would want to model after. Not try to be somebody else, right? But try to find somebody. It's like if you have a financial advisor, Mitchell, and they look like they really have much money. In fact, they're suffering, and they tell you about, how they can't pay their bills and all that. Probably don't want them to take over your financial planning based on that, right? You exude the authenticity and the credibility of what you do. And then you have 66 books to back it up, which is amazing.
65. I'm working on the 66.
Okay, all right. You're going to have 66. You're going to have 66, yeah. 65 now. But anyway, no, amazing, Mitchell. Listen, okay, I just want to remind everybody, we have Mitchell Levy here, and he is an amazing individual that you need to connect with. All of the information has been up in the comments, and it's all there for you. And Mitchell will put anything in that I've missed in the comments. But I think we got most of the major stuff. Also, his LinkedIn has been ticking along the bottom. And I want to tell you, connect directly with him and connect with each other today, like I talked about. But Mitchell, I want to wrap things up here and give you a last chance to give us your gold nugget of today, what you really want people to remember, and how people get in touch with you. We'll put that up again, but tell everybody verbally so those listening on audio podcast can hear that. So go ahead.
So, well, let me wrap up that last comment. So with integrity, when there's a disconnect between your external and your internal integrity, that's when we as humans, we want to run. Yeah, we have this fight or flight mentality. And if somebody's talking to you and they're faking it, they're not being credible because they're not being authentic, and they're faking it and they're saying they're one thing, but as you get to know them, their integrity, there's a disconnect. That's a problem. And so what I'll encourage you to think about is, if somebody says to you, fake it till you make it, you run away from that person. That's not the right thing to focus on. You want to focus on you being authentic and growing and coachable and being that type of human that wants to be of service to others. That's what I do. All my programs are about being not just authentic you, but being that person who is of service to others. So I help people find their audience and then actually connect with their audience. The best way to reach out to me is at my website. It's mitchelllevy.com, mitchellevy.com. You could see the programs I've got going on, many complimentary, some cost. And you could also, if you need to, book time on my calendar. And that's at mitchellevy.com.
That's so awesome. Well, I love that. And you know what? I enjoy every time we get a chance to talk, Mitchell. It is truly a blessing for me, and I'm so thankful that you're here with me today. And I just want to remind everybody, reach out to Mitchell. All of his information is clickable. It's in the show notes. And so all you got to do is click on it and go straight to him. mitchelllevy.com is his website. It's simple and easy to get to. If you can remember his name and my name, you know how to stay in touch with both of us. There you go. So,
perfectly well done, Russ.
I'm a simple-minded kind of guy, Mitchell. So I'm telling you, I got to keep it simple. So with that, Mitchell, I'm going to say goodbye here on screen, but hang tight for just a second as I wrap things up. And I appreciate you again so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, Russ.
You bet. Thank you. See you in a minute. All right, everybody. There it is. All right. Marketing with Russ, a.k.a. #RussSelfie. Again, another episode in the books with the amazing Mitchell Levy. I'm telling you, you can go and you can watch this on replay because you're going to want to watch it again with all the great information he had. We will have him back in 2026 again because he has got so much value. But I just want to remind you, so simple to connect with people, not just him, but also each other. You got Mike Asherbanner, who's the Hounds of Business community. Connect with Mike. There is good stuff going on. And I just want to say hashtag 1000 thanks to Mitchell, hashtag 1000 thanks to all of you. And I just appreciate the opportunity to get this great value out to you. And I appreciate those of you that are along the journey with me, that because I have been all about supporting and still am all about supporting and building you up. So anything that I can do for you, please reach out to me. But I just want to say thank you for those of you who've done the same to me, and I appreciate that. So anyway, with that, we're going to wrap things up. I want to just continue to remind you that we're here every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Helpy. Yes, after it goes live, it sits on LinkedIn and YouTube forever and Facebook for 30 days. And then it converts to audio podcasts, and also will be on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, so you can listen to it there if you don't have time to watch. And with that, we're going to wrap things up for another day. Don't forget that the marketing tip of the day will be cut out separately, so you can share that and watch that. I'd love for you to, anything that you get on any of the platforms or the marketing tip of the day or any of that stuff, please comment, engage, and let us know that you appreciate it. We appreciate you doing that. My co-host didn't get a chance to say hi today. Yes, love Kermie. Okay, with that, have a blessed and amazing rest of your week. We'll see you this Thursday. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.